Thank you for joining us on this journey. Don't forget to tap the bell, subscribe, and comment down below. Well, we are going to get started with our interview. Thank you, Rory and Finn, for taking the time to do this interview. I'm so excited to get to hear a little bit of your story. So thank you.
Thank you, Hope.
Yeah, we're delighted to chat to you.
Absolutely. So why don't we get started, and can we just take a moment to introduce yourselves, your name, where you live, where you grew up, that sort of thing.
Okay, great.
Do you want to start?
Yeah, I'll go first. And Rory, me is my name. I am 43, and we do live in Dublin. I grew up in the country, in the sunny southeast of Ireland, in a place called Wexford, and proper country, surrounded by fields. So I'm a country bumpkin at heart and always will be. I am a doctor. I am 20 years qualified this year,
Wow.
believe it or not. And I specialize in looking after older people. So I'm a geriatrician in Ireland and a gerontologist if you're in North America. Um, there we go. I've got a brother and a sister, and I've got my sister had 4 boys and my brother has 4 girls. So yeah. So it's and I'm so excited to start our own family. And thank you to whoever's watching and thinking about surrogacy and thinking about choosing us. Or look, we're so excited to be parents, and we're so ready. Last week, I'm an April Fool, so I was born on the 1st of April. And last week, on the 1st of April, last Tuesday, we got keys for our new house. So getting ready for our family. We're currently in an apartment in the city centre of Dublin. We don't have any garden. So for the last year or so, we've been looking everywhere in Dublin for a house with a garden. And we found this gorgeous house that's in a kind of protected area in Dublin. So like it feels like you're in the middle of the country, but you're only about 8 or 10 kilometers from the city centre. So we are so excited to kind of renovate the house, and we're kind of getting it all ready for our new family with your help. Is that enough? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's me in a nutshell. I'm an Aries, obviously.
Amazing.
So my name is Finn. I just turned 40. I turned 40 on Thursday. So my birthday's 2 days after Rory's. I'm thankfully not an April Fool, but I grew up in Dublin. I am a primary school teacher, or elementary school teacher, as you would call it over in North America. I've been teaching for about 15 years. I really love teaching. It's a nice job to go into every day. It's a nice environment, and you can have good days and bad days, but in general, there'll always be quite good days, and you'll always have something funny happen with the kids. But I am the youngest of 4 children. I have three older siblings, 2 brothers and a sister. And between them, I have 10 nieces and nephews.
Wow.
So it's a nice big family. We're quite close. My family are located near where we bought our new house. My sister's 5 minutes up the road, and then my parents and my other brother and his family are about 10 minutes away. So it's really exciting that we'll be back in the north side for the future.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's amazing. So I just have to ask, you purchased your new house. What is like your top favorite feature about your new house that you're going to move into?
The garden, definitely. So we got very lucky with the house. It's on a big plot for Dublin, especially given its location in the Liffey Valley. It's in a green belt surrounded by golf courses, and there's a castle just beside it, which is nice. And it's the castle that David and Victoria Beckham got married in. which I'm always
Very
telling
cool.
people. But it's yeah, it's I think it's the garden is the thing that most attracted us to the house because well, I love gardening and
Just outdoor
outdoor
space,
space, yeah.
like for ourselves as well, and for the children. Like so, like we're in an apartment now on a dual carriageway, and you might be able to hear the hum of traffic. And like when we wake up in the morning, I know before I even open my eyes what time it is because the amount of traffic on the road, I can tell. All right, it's 6 or it's half
Yeah.
6 or you know. So the peace and quiet, and the garden, and like we had our. It's been such a busy week. So on Saturday we had a kind of like housewarming slash Finn's 40th slash my 43rd party. So like during the day we had our nieces, most of our nieces and nephews and our families came during the day. And it's a really unusual site because it's kind of it's 0.8 of an acre, which is do you guys use acres as well in
Yes.
Canada?
Yeah.
Okay, deadly. Okay, right. So it's 0.8 of an acre, right? So there's a third of it is down, and then at the back of the house there's a hill, and then there's another bit. But the lady that we bought it from had to downsize because she's getting older and had difficulty accessing it. So she hadn't tended to the back at all. So there's a whole half an acre up a hill at the back that's all overgrown. That's
Oh
kind
boy.
of ours to do with what we want. And like the older kids, like there's a kind of quite steep hill to climb up. And like I was asking it, like our like your nephew Fionn and Irla's, like the two older the nephews, and I was just like, do you guys like adventures? And you know, like they're 8 and 9, they're like, yes, they like adventures. And like then like going up to the top of the hill and like you can see the whole river and the whole valley and like it's all overgrown and you know, and oh they were so excited. And then like trying to get around as many they could to find that kind of where the outskirts of the site
Mhm.
is and everything. So it's the garden
Mm,
and it's just it's big. It's got like
yeah,
there's 5 bedrooms. It's you know
Lovely.
yeah. So I spent
yeah.
the day buying tools and garden tools and bits and pieces to try and make our way through the brambles
Hmm.
eventually. And yeah,
Middle
just
the Middle Island Lidl. I don't know. Do you guys have Aldi and Lidl in Canada? Well, it's the Middle Island Lidl where you get
Okay.
bargains. And where it is, so the part of Dublin, it's called the Strawberry Bed. So like that's the name of it. So like back in the old days, they used to grow a lot of strawberries there. So you
oh
Wow.
know,
God,
and what?
yeah, that's why
That's why it's called the strawberry beds. And like I'm from Wexford, and that's now where we grow strawberries. And when I was in primary school, you know, before child labor laws came in, like we used to go picking strawberries. Like that was our summer job. Like
Yeah.
from like about 10 or 11, like you know, you went picking strawberries. That's what you did to build character.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
That
it's so
does.
funny that we're like now in the strawberry bed. So we'll be like growing our own strawberries, and oh look, I'm so excited.
Yeah, I love that you mentioned that it grows character because that's so true. Is teaching children how to, do things that are hard and, maybe something they don't exactly want to do, but yet they still get to reap the rewards of eating the strawberries after, but it builds character, and I like that. So, remind me, how long have you been together?
it's coming up in 5 years now. We met August 2020 on Tinder. We matched and we exchanged a few short messages and decided that we'd meet up on a Sunday. Then I ended up canceling the first date we were meant to have. We were just going to meet for a coffee on a Sunday afternoon, but I had been out with friends and wasn't feeling going into the city centre because I was living out in the suburbs at the time. But we rearranged for the following Thursday, and
A Tinder date is not worth the paper it's written on, really. And you know, like so he cancelled, and I was raging. Well, not raging, but like I was like, oh, there we go. That's internet dating for you.
Yep.
And he organized a follow-up. So he's like, oh, I can't make today, but how about Thursday evening? And I was like, look, I'm going to give him a second chance, even though I would normally wouldn't, because you know, if you cancel with the follow-up, I'm like, okay, cool. You know, we can all anyway. So thank God I gave him a second chance, right? Hope.
Yes, absolutely.
Peachy.
It
And like, you know, the first date we had, like I'd never had a date that was so not like I mean, he's so handsome. But that was like the least of it. You know, we just chatted for hours actually
yeah,
that first date. And our second date was 2 days later. And we've been kind of inseparable
ever since,
Oh,
ever since,
I love
you know.
that. So, you've touched on it a little bit already, but that first date, what would be like your first impressions of each other? What were some of the the vibes that you were getting about one another that made you want to go on that second date?
Rory was really funny and entertaining and a little bit ridiculous in his own way. And just he just had a great energy, gave off really kind, interested vibes, and yeah, like we just didn't run out of things to talk about. So it was easy. It's just really easy,
It was so easy
natural.
and so much fun and so many laughs. I think like a lot of people have expectations of doctors that we're going to be super serious. And like, don't get me wrong, sometimes sometimes we are. But no, I get a lot of joy from the ridiculous, like just ridiculousness in general, just like fills me with giggles and joy. And the same with Finn. And it was just and then like just that he's a teacher, like my mum and dad were teachers, and like look, it was teachers that got me where I am, like in every way, in school and my parents, and then that he's a teacher, that was really attractive to me, I don't know what a
We both,
psychologist might say about that, but it's that was really attractive to me. And
yeah,
yeah,
we just came from very similar families. Lots of nieces and nephews and things like that. So it was, yeah, it just felt very natural.
yeah. And that he
Amazing.
was so handsome. That was the first thing I noticed. On Tinder, it doesn't tell you on Tinder like how tall somebody is, so you can never be sure.
Yeah.
And like he's really tall, and I like that. I'm also quite tall. So just when you're going,
Perfect.
and then like we literally like said, oh, here's my number, and then we had a date arranged within like a few text messages,
Yeah.
and then we'd have cancelled, and then we'd rearrange with another text message or two. So I didn't want to be like, oh, how tall are you?
Yeah.
So yeah, that helped.
So now that you've been together for 5 years, you've settled into life, the routines, the work life, the social life, and busy days, I'm sure. How do you typically both show affection and appreciation for each other, after a long day of work? How do you show that you care?
Oh, it's little things. There's always little things. Rory makes me coffee in the morning. First thing he calls it breakfast in bed.
It is
Um,
breakfast in bed.
I get home earlier, so I'm home from work by 2:45. So usually cook the evening meal and things like that. And we try and eat healthy as much as we can. And eat fresh food and stuff. So I suppose it's showing love through food and
Oh, do you know what? We're very affectionate. Like we'll always kind of kiss hello and like cuddle and like, and that's so nice. And it hasn't like I haven't got bored of it. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but you know what I mean? Like after like it's so nice. And like so we were very physically affectionate as well. And I remember growing up, my mum and dad were quite like they were so in love, and they'd always be very, very physically affectionate,
Mhm.
just in a nice way, so that is as one of the things that and I think we're both just very interested in how the other's day went. Like,
oh
how
yeah.
was your day? Like,
Yeah.
and like I always like to hear about his day and like what ridiculous things the kids came up with him to tell him or to give out about or was on yard duty or so I think we're both quite interested in each other's day and just and that keeps us very connected. We're lucky. Well, I'm lucky, like in terms of the job. So I love my job. Um, but generally speaking, it would be very unusual. I wouldn't be home by 5 or 5:30, So I know an awful lot of doctors do an awful lot of long hours, and
Mhm.
Lord knows I've done that. I've been there, and I've done the finishing work at 8 or 9, and but with the job I have, it's a very lifestyle friendly job. So like generally, I'll be home at like 5 or 5:30, and so the days aren't that long. Thank God.
Nice. Yeah. I'm going to ask you both to describe one another in 3 words.
Can we use the same words? What if he takes the
Yeah.
3 words I was going to think
Yeah.
of? Hope,
Yeah,
honestly. See
you
the way it's
can.
straight away. No.
I have to get in there first. Rory is ridiculous. I think I've already mentioned that. Ridiculous, um, ridiculous, kind, and handsome.
See, I knew he's going to use one of my
Yeah.
words, at least one.
Darn.
Um, Finn enjoys being ridiculous, and
Alcohol.
Finn is very funny. He's always making me laugh, and I love that. I love laughter, as most people do. He is so kind. And like not only to me, he's always been so kind to me, but he's so kind to everybody, and that's really, really I appreciate that. Um, and I'm trying to think of something less superficial than handsome,
Oh.
actually. You know, I mean, there's something more deep and meaningful. So intelligent. He's just really intelligent. You know, you can tell by his chat, you can tell like, and not like not paper intelligent, like as he is paper intelligent, but like just like emotionally intelligent, you know, and I really appreciate that.
All amazing characteristics and so important. And you both complement each other, you balance each other out. It's really, really perfect. We're going to play a little like this or that questionnaire. So
Okay.
you don't have to explain anything. I'm just going to give you two options and you both can pick what you would choose, okay? City or country?
Country.
Country.
Pizza or tacos?
Pizza.
Pizza.
A beach day or a pool day?
Beach day.
Yeah, beach day.
Okay. Morning person or night owl?
I'm a morning person.
I'm more a night owl.
Sweet or
That's where
salty?
that's where he gets breakfast in bed and coffee.
There you
Because
go.
I'm up
Sweet or salty?
Salty.
salty.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
See, you were both very similar in your answers. There's only been like one or two. Summer or winter?
Summer.
Yeah, summer, definitely.
Texting or calling?
Texting.
Calling.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm a little bit older. I think that's the generational gap there, maybe.
There you go. The 2 year gap.
Mhm.
Okay. When you go to order ice cream, do you ask for your ice cream in a cone or a bowl?
Bowl.
Cone. I like a cone.
Nice. Okay, well, we're gonna switch gears and take our conversation in the direction of your journey to parenthood and surrogacy. So, would you mind taking a moment to give us a picture of what your journey has looked like so far, the initial conversations and thoughts about becoming parents and looking at your options? What did that look like in the very beginning?
From very early on, like we both kind of established that like children was something that we both would like. And I think meeting each other really solidified that for both of us. I don't think I'd ever seen it as an option before I met Rory. But like that he had the same dreams was incredible, and that we've been able to begin the journey in Canada has been amazing as well. And yeah, it was definitely a conversation that we had quite early on. But we started looking into it properly about a year and a half ago. Meeting other intended parents and friends of ours that were in the middle of the surrogacy process and that, and just getting information about the journey it takes and what you need to do and different things like that, and getting recommendations. And yeah, that's kind of how we came upon Anu as well.
It wasn't an option at all, surrogacy, that I knew of in the 90s, in the noughties. And it was like saying, like, it was like, oh God, to have a family would really, before I even knew about surrogacy, would be like, oh God, you know, I wanted two parents raising a child. That's how I was raised, and that's the only family I would consider. So I suppose really good friends of mine in the last number of years have started. There was the marriage referendum in Ireland in 2015, where the country voted yes, and we were the first country to have to vote on it now. And I know gay marriage was legal in a lot of places, but we were the first country to have to vote on it. And, you know, that was incredible that so many people in Dublin, like in the area we live in, 95% of people voted yes for gay marriage. Like, how nice is that, you know? And it really moved the whole country forward.
socially,
you know, because everybody knew before then, you know, you didn't really know if somebody was a little bit homophobic, and I've never really experienced that. But after that, you just know for a fact, you know, everyone here has voted, come out and voted for us. Like, how wonderful.
Yeah.
And then friends of mine have started having their own families via surrogacy. Really good friends of mine, and I could just see how satisfied it made them, you know, and they were able to sit down and give me a roadmap. So like, this is what we did, and then this and this step and that step. And to hear that from kind of trusted friends,
Yeah.
was really, really nice. And then to see them with their babies, you know. So you know, my really good friends, and that's been so nice. And then there's a gay Irish dads group that then gave us more recommendations. So yeah, so we talked about it very early on. I think, look, I knew that I would be end up with Finn within like 2 dates, 3 dates. Like, now I didn't give it away like that, you know,
Of
obviously.
course.
You know, I left it a sensible amount of time. You know, but like 3 months in, we decided like we'd align our life goals, you know, and we'd already both knew. And since we started on the surrogacy journey, Anu was recommended to us, and like, you guys have been extraordinary. And it's really, it's felt like so many of the couples that we chatted to already said it was such a roller coaster.
Hmm.
And to be honest, since we reached out to you guys, you know, our donor, you matched us with this
incredible
absolutely
donor.
incredible donor. Like, this is she'd given, like, we were the third couple that she'd given eggs to, and like, you know, like that our babies and that our family is starting from a place of such love and generosity. It's so important to us, you know, and now we're waiting for the surrogate. And again, it's so important to us that everybody involved in this process really wants to be, you
Hmm.
know, a donor, or
Yeah.
really wants to be a surrogate. Like, not for any financial reasons, or not because they're being exploited, but like, it's something they really, really want to do. And that's one of the biggest reasons that we chose Canada, because of that.
Yeah.
And
The
um,
altruistic nature
the
of it in
altruistic
Canada.
nature of it, it really attracted us
Hmm.
to it, you
Yeah.
know. And yeah,
That adds just a whole different level of trust to your journey and to how everyone's feeling and building that relationship, which kind of leads into my next question. Um, can you share a little bit about your hopes and your dreams for your journey ahead, and what are you visioning together as a couple and what that looks like?
um, well, look, we got engaged really early on. So a year in, Finn threw himself on one knee, to scant regard to breaking a hip, and begged me to marry him. Um, um, but like, there's been so much going on. We actually haven't organized. So like, getting married is on our agenda. Like, get the house, like, it's the
Hmm.
baby's process started. So like, getting married is on our agenda. So that's the first thing. I think both of us are in really secure jobs. I both of us have lived overseas as well. Like, so I lived in Australia for 8 years, and you lived in.
I lived in Abu Dhabi and London.
Hmm.
So, so having lived overseas and come back home to Dublin, like, we're both very, very happy and content that like, Dublin is where we want to be. It's where we want to live. We've got
Where
really
most of
secure
our families
jobs.
are.
All our families are around. So kind of, and now that I've got our new house, like, look, we've loads of ideas and decorating and doing a little renovation and making it our own. So there's a little bit of work to do there. But just to start, like, just to get started with our families,
Yeah.
like, you know, it's I kind of see it in my head, you know, them running around the garden, and yeah.
What type of relationship do you envision having with your surrogate during the process and then after the baby is born as well?
I suppose, well, it'll be not good to get to know the surrogates. They're obviously doing something really, really, really incredible for us, and as long as they're comfortable, we'd love to be hearing about medical appointments and like regular updates, how they're feeling. Maybe potentially come over and visit at some point during the pregnancy, and
We'll be very much guided by what she
yeah,
prefers. I'd love to be involved and to exactly like Finn said, to like the progress and like look, I do have like I am a doctor. I have delivered 4 babies myself, so I know a little bit medically, even though it's been a while since since I've been involved with younger people.
Mm,
Um, so it's whatever their comfort level is. If they want to be, I, if they're free to touch base with us whenever suits them, whenever they've got questions, whenever they think we can help. I know surrogates choose to be surrogates for different reasons, you know, and have different circumstances. So if she prefer, oh look, I'd like to keep it to a minimum. I've got my own life and I've got my X amount of kids to do, and I can't be dealing with linking in with Ireland every 5 minutes. Not that we want to be in touch every 5 minutes, but so whatever suits her and her life, you know, and the same stands for staying in touch afterwards, you know, like this is I'm sure I'd love to kind of show them like, oh, this is, you know, and this is the first birthday, and you know, how nice would that be, you know,
yeah,
if that's what they want.
absolutely. Are there any particular traditions or values that you are looking forward to integrating into your family when that comes time?
Yeah, so my dad is great. He cooks a big breakfast for everyone every Saturday and and it's kind of an open invitation. So whoever is around can show up, and there'll be a nice breakfast there for you around noon on a Saturday. And usually there's at least half of the nibblings there running around the place, and a few of my siblings and their partners, and then we end up spending the afternoon at Granny and Granddad's, and the kids just playing and having fun with each other and running around in the garden. It's lovely. I can't wait to introduce our child to that.
Same. So family, like I'm used to, like I grew up slightly. So my mum and dad are from the west, but we grew up in the southeast. So like, you know, weekends and summers we used to go to Galway, and like to bring the like still have a lot of family in the west of Ireland. So to bring them down to get to know the Galway side of my family and my cousins, and you know, play in the same beaches that we played on and jump into the same quay that we jumped into, you know.
Yeah, we've got a house down out west as well. So it'll be great to bring the children there, spend
It's
summers.
my grandfather's cottage that I just always loved, and yeah, so that's something that we're working on too.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a few options. My mum and dad were both teachers, so they took us traveling like when we were kids, like during the 90s. So like it was, you know, we get the ferry and we go camping around Europe, and you know, like, and they drag us to all these museums and you know, art galleries, and we just wanted to go to the pool and like do the cool things. But like, I'd love to be able to bring them traveling as well. You know, like it was such precious kind of times. And with my job, we have the option of parental leave. So every summer, you know, you can get parental leave for, you know, 4 or 5 weeks. And then Finn obviously is an elementary school teacher, gets summer holidays. So I'd love to kind of do that and just bring them traveling, and like not like to flying around here, there, everywhere, but it's the camping and the whole fun of it. Like I'd love to do
Yes.
that.
Yeah, that's
Oh, I'm
that's
picking strawberries. Hope,
yeah,
obviously, we'll have grown our own strawberries
of
now.
course.
It won't be as arduous as it was during the 90s in Wexford. Hopefully, but yeah. Get them involved with the garden and picking strawberries.
Well, that's the end of my questions. I just wanted to give you a little opportunity to just send out a message to the wonderful lady that has taken the time to listen to your interview and is looking at your profile. You kind of did it at the beginning, which was amazing. But yeah, if you just wanted to.
Um, just to let you know that we're really appreciative of you just even taking the time to look at this interview and to consider us. We're really looking forward to hopefully having a family soon. And if you would like to come on that journey with us, please do.
We know that we can give our children a really good life,
Mhm.
and a really nice life,
Yeah.
and instill in them really good values,
Mhm.
you know, so they can be happy and productive, and that's really important to us. And we hope Happy to chat to you. If you have any other questions that didn't cover, we're happy to chat to you. If you've got any questions at all, Anu will reach out, and we will be delighted to get to know you better. And hopefully then we can go on this journey together, and it will be, oh my goodness, you'll be making our dreams come true.
Yeah.
Like, I really can't believe my dreams came true with Finn, to be honest. So if yeah, we'd love you to help us make our dreams come true.
Well, thank you for taking the time to share your story and allow us to get to know you a little bit better on a deeper level. So thank you for doing this interview with us.
Thank you so much, Hope.
Thanks, Hope.
All right. Well, we will keep in touch and we'll say goodbye for now.
Perfect. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Thanks, Hope.